Well, it appears I'm a minute late here. Let me go ahead and just make sure the audio is a working. There it is. We have audio. Very good. What do I usually do here? Oh yeah, I just woke up from a nap. I wake up from these naps at like 6 o'clock on a Wednesday, and I'm like, I don't know if this happens to you guys, but I'm like retarded for a good hour or so after I wake up. I got to adjust this nap schedule. Um, but I usually have a pretty late Tuesday night, so I try to squeeze in a quick nap on Wednesday afternoon, and I come out of it, and my brain is just like fucking sludge. um, anyway, Twitter at Mike Montone, Instagram Gary underscore Moyler, Moyler, YouTube Mike's Golden Streams. How are we? Before we get to the nitty gritty, I had this fun little tidbit, because people are always asking me. I talk a lot about, the Port Authority and the things I see in there, and it's there was a little stretch recently. It's been very cold in here. It's finally warming up. Right as I do this stream, it's 29 degrees, which feels incredibly warm because it was like 4 degrees the other day. Which even that, I've said, if you bundle up properly and go outside, you'll be fine. It really doesn't matter what the temperature is if you have the proper layers and the proper gear. Obviously, there does, if you're in the Arctic, you do have to have probably some sort of really scientifically put together jacket. But I went out Sunday morning. It was supposed to be like the coldest, and you layer from the bottom up. I had a pair of leggings under my sweatpants, and a t-shirt, a long sleeve t-shirt, hoodie, jacket, gloves, a baklava, a winter cap on top of that, and a jacket. And it was fun. 20-minute stroll to the gym. But usually when we get weather like that, it sends the New York City homeless population into the Port Authority, which there was a little bit of, but not as bad as I expected. Usually, like it gets bad. So I don't know what the deal is. I know Mamdani killed a bunch of them or something. So there was that. So maybe that was it. Maybe he killed the ones that usually go to the Port Authority. But I thought you guys might enjoy this video. Let me just make. There it is. I'll share it. Here we go. So this was where was this? It says up here, 34th Street and 11th Ave. So this is about 8 blocks away from the Port Authority. Give you a little look at old New York, the way she once was. That is the subway. This, by the way, is why I tend not to sit down on the subway. It's amazing. This is New York City. It's magical, right? You want to move here if you live in the middle of America in flyover country. You're jealous of this because you can go to a bodega at any time of the day or night, and you can get a chopped cheese. You can do that, and you can ride the subway. Well, this guy, urinates on the floor in front of you. Like this is there's there's like a woman sitting right here. She's reading. This woman is reading. This is in New York City. It's so just normal for someone to squat and piss in the corner of a subway car that this woman just felt it would be a good time to look the other way and crack a book. Like no nowhere but the most poorly run metropolises is this kind of thing acceptable. And I mean, I realize, you know, New York City, they use the phrase ungovernable, which I believe to be true to a degree. I don't think there's anyone that can come in and fix New York City. I think it just goes through ebbs and flows where you can put lipstick and perfume on the pig and it's going to look great. Everything's going to be great for a couple years and then it's just going to dip back down to shit. It's more about just keeping, imagine, if you will, you were trying to keep just your head above water, as they say, like just literally just your lips and nose. That is the goal. If you can maintain that at a minimum with New York City, it's the metropolis is in good shape. But yeah, this is what people. What bothers me about it, like I accept that, you know, it's a city, shit like this happens. My problem is when people refer to it as like this magical experience of living in New York. So there's nothing magical or fantastic about it. This is really what it is. Like real New York City is a guy pissing on the subway while a plump woman reads a hardcover book 15 feet away. Just let me unshare this. There you go. Sorry for the dead air. Yeah, I wonder if the bodegas do use Cisco ingredients, Chucky. But yeah, that's the thing. Like the chopped cheese, anybody can make a fucking chopped cheese. There's no secret to it. And yours will come with fewer health code violations. In New York City bodegas, they because rodents are such a problem, they just have cats that walk around all over the place. Like that's because nowhere else would you run a business that involves selling food and be like, what we need is a cat crawling all over everything. But the pest problem in New York City is so bad that having cats walk all over everything, all over the fucking ham and cheese, is actually preferable to what would be going on if they didn't have cats. Hank, a chopped cheese. I'm not sure what the actual if they put anything other than meat and cheese in it. Let's see. I think they put it over like lettuce or some shit. What does AI say? A classic New York City chopped cheese is a bodega staple, a cross between a cheesesteak and a burger consisting of ground beef, onions, melted American cheese, chopped together on a griddle. You put it on a soft hoagie or sub roll. Hoagie would be the Philly phrase. AI that in New York you would just call it a roll, not a hoagie. Yeah, I mean this is a very the seasoning though. They do use adobo, Sazon, or a mix of salt, pepper, and garlic powder. Yeah, you wouldn't understand though. If I will tell you this: if the Bad Bunny No, how dare you, Cowster? Yes, it is basically a fucking cheesesteak. Um, but if the Bad Bunny halftime show did not appeal to you, then you would not understand chopped cheese culture, because what chopped cheese culture is of course indicative of New York City, like real bodega, Washington Heights bodega people. But chopped cheese culture is also uh, it is very, if you are someone who moved to New York from, wherever, Kansas, um, you know, and you hate your fucking, you try to ruin Thanksgiving every year because you hate your MAGA family. What chopped cheese is just it's your signal to everyone else that you're so cultured. You eat the food of you work for, a major advertising firm or some such bullshit. But you eat the food of the middle class, and you get it from a bodega because you're no longer just an annoying asshole from the middle of the country. You're a New Yorker now, and you appreciate la cultura. Um, yeah, the the fucking halftime show has everybody's panties in a bunch. Um, Here's what I thought. Everyone has a hot take on the halftime show too. As I scroll social media, everybody, this thing, people feel so fucking passionately about this halftime show. I'll tell you what my major problem with the halftime show was, is that it came in the middle, and this is the halftime show and the commercials. The game eventually got out of hand, late. It turned into a blowout. It not really a semi blowout. But a defensive struggle, you can't have five fucking minutes of commercials going during a defensive struggle. Like a defensive football game, you need to ride the tension the whole time. Like you want it to just be like edge of your seat. What's going to happen uh, on each play? Like, is the ice finally going to break? Because if it's a fucking shootout, then it's just kind of like the pace of everything is moving so fast. It's like whoa, 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 But for to interrupt the tension of a defensive struggle in the biggest game of the year is very, very, so we can see the Backstreet Boys fucking selling crypto. um but in any case, um I think Cowster, I will the pro free speech people don't want people speaking Spanish. Is that free speech? I don't think they don't want people I think they don't want it banned. I think they find it irritating. So I think there's a fundamental difference, right? I think they just dislike, like they just openly disliked it, as opposed to um, you know, like trying to block the speech, if that makes sense. But I do understand what you're saying, of course. Um, but no, my feeling on it was I've been open about how much I dislike reggaeton for quite some time. If you've watched this stream, you know that I really, really can't fucking stand reggaeton. So music, this whole thing about how he's the biggest artist on the planet. I'm sure there's like a reasonable explanation for it. Like maybe there are just, South America's pretty fucking big. So maybe, it's just a population density thing. Like a huge chunks of the world speak Spanish. So the music probably appeals to them. I speak a modicum of Spanish. Um, I I fornicate with a Cuban woman. So I'm certainly no stranger to La Cultura. But yeah, I don't musically. It does nothing for me. Um, so yeah, that on that end, I was I had no interest in it. Um, you show me a screen full of, and this I thought was very well produced, like from a production standpoint, because obviously it was shot for TV. It wasn't for the people in the stadium. It was for the people watching at home. If you show me a screen full of Latina women with fat asses just throwing them around, I'm gonna be pleased. I don't need to enjoy your music for that. It was a delight. Yes, Cowster, she's fluent. Um, and I always remind her that in my house we fucking habla inglés. um, but I think I think what it did was it created a space for both sides, left and the silliest people on the left and the right. It created a space for them to be as performative as possible. It allowed the the right wing people, the Turning Point crowd, it allowed them to do this alternate halftime show, which I think is the silliest thing in the fuck. Unless you're going to bring back Celebrity Deathmatch, they should have done that. That would have been, I think, the big win for them. If while Bad Bunny was up there, if the right wingers, the anti wokes, had done like a celebrity death match, where Charlie Kirk came back to life and offed Kamala Harris or something, or Tim Waltz or something like that. Like uh, that would have been a lot of fun, I think. But instead, they did this whatever, like you knew you weren't going to outdo, or they should have known they weren't going to outdo whatever production value the NFL brought to the Super Bowl, and you're not, just based like the way the numbers, like no one's, because it takes action to change the channel, and especially I think the thing's streamed on YouTube, so it's like you were making this thing with these artists who aren't sort of globally too popular or well known, and people are gonna have to work. They're gonna have to change the channel for it. So it just kind of comes off as a bush league operation. Like kind of like, we're gonna show them now. Look, maybe it was done with the intent to just give that segment of the population something to watch during halftime. But it feels like it wasn't. It feels like it was sort of a vindictive thing, which again just makes you look like a reflection of the very people that we've been complaining about have been fucking up the society for the past 15 years or so. But on the other side, the fawning, the very performative fawning over the Bad Bunny people, Benito performance, the white chairs, the kid falling asleep on the white chairs. If I had to fucking read about that one more time, scrolling my Twitter, everybody, oh, the white chairs, oh wow, the white chair. So if you don't know, in Latino culture, if there's a family party that runs too late, sometimes the little kids will fall asleep on top of plastic white chairs, which fucking it has prompted one of my favorite Twitter memes is is when the anti wokes make fun of like people trying overly hard to sound cultured, as though everyone on the fucking planet isn't shoveling, processed fucking garbage into the, of everyone in this country of all ilks is just eating fucking processed garbage food and watching the same bullshit on TikTok, right? Like there as far as like culture goes, the world has just become sort of a very bland slurry. Um, but there's this Twitter meme. I was looking whenever I want to find it, I can't find the fucking thing. Oh yeah. So one variation of it is this guy writes, "In my culture, we like eating, spending time with family, and sitting in chairs." Um, yeah, and the EBT accepted on the set piece. Like that almost felt like it was a deliberate troll to conservatives, fucking just embracing the bodega lifestyle. But there is this segment of the same picture, the white women in Minnesota who shut down that yoga studio. They are the ones who really wanted you to know how much they appreciated the elements of La Cultura that wound up in the Bad Bunny halftime show. The performative woke whites. So it was a night for a musical performance, an athletic performance, and uh, political correct politically correct performances on both sides of the aisle. There really is the the woke right is not becoming. They got to cut that out, otherwise we are going to wind up with fucking President Kamala Harris, and nobody wants that. I'll tell you what, Mike. They have ample posteriors. They are all right. Speaking of ample posteriors and the Super Bowl, I guess there was well, it was like a GL. Obviously, of course, there was a an ad for a GLP-1, um, which are the weight loss drugs. I guess it's semaglutides or some shit. And the one ad focused on the stress that obesity puts on your joints, and how if you take this, that you'll be able to move, you'll be able to play tennis or go hiking or whatever without pain, because you won't be carrying around so much fat, so much useless tissue. And Bridget Fetisi, who is sort of a right of center conservative libertarian commentator, pointed out that until apparently just this week, you were not allowed to openly talk about how your health improves when you lose weight, when you become less fat. And she's right. Like it was for the longest time it took I mean, at first I think the obesity epidemic caught us kind of by surprise. because obesity isn't something that happens overnight. And habits are sort of a generational thing. There's the sort of joke that if you look at George Costanza in Seinfeld, they were making jokes about him being an out of shape sack of shit when now he had if you look back you're like, oh, that's like what some people just consider to be like a dad bod. So from there, I think it's the young generation now, like Gen Z, and maybe I think Gen Alpha, they've maybe sort of started to clean it up a little bit. But I think the younger millennials and Gen Z got it the worst, where it was like, oh, the kids are fat now. Like I think that was the slap in the face that everyone needed, because I think with fat Gen X and fat millennials, there was like this fat celebration going on. You remember the fat positivity movement, and you couldn't. Fat shaming was the word. They would say that if you went to a doctor and he told you to lose weight, they would say that you had been fat shamed. Um, and there was a celebration of fat, which I think it was also a rejection of um, the 1990s ideal of like the stick thin model that the gay fashion industry tried to sell us. Which, I mean, talk about these guys. And telling too, because if you go back and look at porn just all through history, the chicks stick thin has never been big in porn, but it was big in fashion. And what is more telling as to what guys want to fuck, uh, fashion or porn? It's no contest. It's porn. So the idea that we ever wanted. Now, I'm not saying, look, you get your hands on a 95-pound spinner, you're gonna have a good time. I'm not saying it's a terrible thing, but the ridiculous, like, bony, you know just completely rail thin body that was idealized in the 90s, I guess, created this backlash where women just decided that they were going to punish society. They were just going to make themselves fat and unappealing to punish society. When what they really should have been doing is what's happening now, is learning to squat and deadlift, and turn that kind of extra weight into the type of thickness that gets you invited to dance in Bad Bunny's halftime show. So Fedesi brought this up, and it reminded me that Oprah recently gave an interview where she said she talked about the shame of diet culture while at the same time using GLP-1s, and she's now she says, recognizing once and for all that obesity is not a moral failing, it's a chronic relapsing disease. That has been life-changing for me. I did not get the memo 10 years ago, but now I know I want to spread that information to as many people as I can. So what these drugs do is that they inhibit your appetite, and allow you to eat less, which obviously, obesity, being overweight, is a function of calories in versus calories out. If you eat a caloric surplus, you are going to gain weight. If you eat in a caloric deficit, you are going to lose weight. So she has decided, and she's a very influential woman, she's decided to tell people that, hey, if you've gotten morbidly obese, it's not your fault. It's genetics. Good news, here's some medicine that can help you with that. And I think it's certainly a good thing that these drugs are finally getting people to admit that they need to lose weight, and if losing weight is enough to stave off serious illnesses. Now, obviously, you can lose weight and then you can be fit, and being fit also improves health markers and helps fight different diseases. So there's going to be a difference between just losing weight without physical activity, just using GLP-1s and losing weight, versus adopting a healthy lifestyle. But it's so weird with something that is so clearly the result of habit. And the reason, people say, well, my parents are fat, everyone in my family is fat, it's because you all have the same habits. Like you're all under the same roof eating the same shit. Like, and not doing the same exercise. Like that's what it is. There are people, obviously there are gonna be genetic outliers on either side. You're gonna have people who fucking look, just look like swimsuit models by doing nothing. And you are going to have people who do struggle horribly, but most people fall genetically around a sort of same average, right? So it's so ridiculous that we go to such lengths to protect people from having to confront the fact that it's their own behavior that has destroyed their bodies. And I don't think it's not shameful to do that. I think it should be empowering to do that. Like if you're, for those of you who are out there, it's struggling with your weight, like you don't have to. There was a time when weight loss was like, if you watch MTV, like Fat Camp or like, True Life, like I'm trying to lose weight or whatever those that they would do, you would just see some, miserable, sweating, pimply-faced teenage girl walking on a treadmill at a gym in a Marilyn Manson t-shirt, and then she'd go home and her mother would have like boiled chicken and fucking broccoli waiting for her, while the rest of the family ate pizza and drank soda. Jesus fucking Christ. But it doesn't have to be like that. Like literally you can eat delicious foods. Like you can eat steaks and then you can go lift weights, and go for long walks with, a light-weighted vest on and just become a fucking Chad. I truly don't understand. It will, if you don't work out regularly and you can get yourself to start working out regularly and eating, again, eating for health, not like eating to crash diet, but just eating like good meats, fruits, and vegetables and lifting weights a few times a week, that simple life change will make your existence so much better. And that's what we should be telling people. Monday morning, I believe it was a 97-pound mole. Cowster, is this it? Is this why the fashion industry was foisting bone skinny women, skinny girls with less curves make you focus on the clothes? Yeah, I guess, but now I feel like the clothing is all designed to show off like a nice fat ass. Like what they've done with leggings. I keep reading these articles that, leggings are going out of style, and every time I read one, I go outside and I see leggings that are going deeper and deeper into women's ass cracks. This remains, when they're doing one of those, like I remember when I was in elementary school, they, one day everyone had to say like what one of the most important inventions of the last 100 years was, and everyone, people are like, oh, the nuclear bomb, the spaceship, whatever. The leggings that tuck all the way and remain just deeply. They are built. It's not a wedgie. It's not an accident. They are built with the intent of being just deeply buried inside of a woman's crack. It is to me. This is the most important invention of the 21st century. Fuck AI can get fucked. Um, yeah, a little camel toe, Kaz. No one minds it. Um, Joe Kickass. I know what you're saying. A skinny girl to picture. You want to? You should get into running like half marathons or join a run club or something like that. You'll find a few of those. Get after it. Um, yes, Cowster, the Stitch butt cracks scene. That is exactly it. Hank Scorpio, I will say, yeah, I will. I look, Hank. I am a longtime Paul Glover. I I believe variety is the spice of life. So the same way I would be happy to bang a sorority slut or a an experienced MILF. I'd be happy to bang a slimmer gal, a fashion model type, or even a well presenting BB dub. Not overly obese. That's no good. But yeah, I'm a long proponent of the idea, Hank, that variety is the spice of life. You want to try a little bit of everything. Um, while you can, while you can. Anyway, um, we haven't. I don't think. I guess maybe this hadn't started. How long has this woman been missing? Nancy Guthrie. I don't think we got a chance to really get into it last time. Maybe we did. I don't remember. Now they found a glove. I believe. I believe it's a glove. This is just happening today. The New York Post, at least, is um, uh, FBI agents have recovered a black glove from a roadside near Nancy Guthrie's house, potentially a major clue in the search for the masked thug who is suspected of abducting the 84-year-old woman. Yeah, this is just for the length of time that this has been going on. I How has she has to have had a heart. I can't imagine her being alive right now. Like, as sad as that sounds, and I know they keep saying, ransom notes and this and that and payments, but I just, for the life of me, because they had and a lot of this stuff is, they got a guy on surveillance camera. He's got a ski mask. He's got a gun, black gloves, all of that. And they found this glove, and there's blood and everything like that, and it's a lot of people online are trying to amateur sleuth this whole thing, and I don't really know that you can do that. I mean, you can posit theories, but I think without being on the ground there with real investigative access, I don't know that you can do a whole lot. But I just can't imagine how she could possibly be still be alive. Just the physical trauma, because it said that blood found at the scene, so I guess maybe not taken gently. And then I believe she had a pacemaker and all of that, and just at her age, the stress of what she's going through or what she went through, and then a lot of people that age, they need extra care. They have medication. They may need to be wiped or cleaned or whatever. It's not. It's not. It's not just like cut and dry. Like you don't. It's not like in a fucking movie or a TV show where they take a hostage and they're just taped to the same chair for fucking 6 days. I mean, you can do that, but at some point your hostage taking room is going to smell like shit. Like if you have a hostage, like you actually have to provide like a modicum of fucking human care for them, just for the sake of logistics, because the dead hostage is gonna be pretty useless to you. So you don't want, if you're guarding a hostage, you don't want a hostage who's sitting there covered in their own feces, because then it becomes unpleasant for you, right? And I would imagine in more like hostage taking operations that are like very amateurish, that the reason a lot of hostages wind up dead is because like nobody has the presence of mind to make them shower, or like fucking to take a shit, like they're just shitting their pants or pissing on themselves, and it starts to smell and it gets annoying, and eventually one of the hot-headed hostage takers will kind of snap and just end them. I guess, yeah, there was a third note. They want Bitcoin in exchange for information. Yeah, so that, I mean, obviously there were a couple hoax notes, so it's entirely possible. This one is asking for $67,000 in exchange for the name of the individual involved. And look, I mean, again, who knows, right? These, I guess, with crypto, because it's encrypted, I guess that has made people kind of bold about engaging in like these sort of kidnapping schemes and shit. Like there was those guys who had that brownstone in New York where they allegedly like tortured that dude with fucking drugs and cutlery for a few days. And then there was a case out, I think it was like somewhere in the Middle East, where this Russian couple was murdered in a dispute over some kind of crypto scam. So it might be that we're in the early phases of some sort of new hostage taking sort of scam or something along those lines. And then look, again, if these guys are kind of amateurish, it's entirely possible that there was more than one of them, and maybe they had a dispute or whatever, and now one of them is saying, hey, look, send me a little cash, I will tell you exactly who did it, and then this guy is going to take his payment and flee. Who knows? It is certainly a mystery. I mean, look, you feel terrible for them, but the football season is over and it's a few weeks until the NCAA tournament, so we do need we do need something to kind of keep our eyes on. We can't all be watching heated rivalry or whatever the fuck. There's if you guys know, there's apparently this show about gay hockey players that people are fucking obsessed with, and the New York Post said that because of it, there's an increase in people watching gay porn, which I find very funny. They said women are watching gay porn, which it doesn't seem the same as watching lesbian porn, but to each their own. Um, yes, Kaz, very much so. Thank you, Monday Morning Mowing with Mike. Thank you for correcting me. It was in sync selling crypto. I'm sorry. You I get my boy bands mixed up because I'm not a fruit. um, yeah, the hoax notes are wild, Bateman. The idea, like, because to do that, like, do you realize what it takes when fucking Savannah Guthrie's mother is the subject of a worldwide kidnapping manhunt, and you decide I'm going to write a hoax note to them? Like, you, this is a very public thing. Like, a hoax note, if your neighbor down the street, if their kid gets snatched up at the mall or something like that, um, and taken to a pizza place in DC, and you send a fake ransom note, like, yeah, that's fucked up. You shouldn't do that. And it's certainly a very gross thing to do, but it's not like it's not highly public, so the hoax note's probably not even get investigated. Like, they're just gonna be like, all right, yeah, it turned out to be unsubstantiated. We're sorry. And the local cops aren't gonna waste resources trying to figure out who sent the hoax note. In Savannah Guthrie's case, like, they're gonna solve this. If this turns out like the fucking Vegas shooter and we just never find out, I will be blown away. Which, by the way, what anything on that? The Vegas shooter, nothing, no ideas, huh? The trail went cold. Um, Yeah, and yes, Bateman, and to your point, the thought that you wouldn't get caught doing it is what I was alluding to. Like, they're going to, like, they're not, every fucking thread that is available for them to pull, they are going to pull. So if you send, like, they're not, it's not going to just be like, oh, they're going to pay the kidnappers and they're going to get the mother, and then the kidnappers are going to ride off into the sunset. Like, they are going to chase that shit down to the ends of the earth, because if they don't, then this is going to become a thing. um I'm sorry, I'm reading a comment here that is so absurd that I don't even think I can fucking read it, but it's very funny. Um, yeah, so we'll keep watching. I'm very, very, like, I'm just curious to see it. I just, again, I don't I don't Holy shit. I'm sorry. Yes. Yes, I hit the old pen pretty hard before I started this. Um but yeah, um wow. I love when Wawa opines on on current events. Thank you for weighing in, Wawa. Yeah, I do think that that whoever did this, I don't think it's a criminal mastermind. I think this is the kind of crime that is perpetrated by people who think they are criminal masterminds and then fuck up quite easily. Like Al Qaeda, those guys were criminal masterminds. If you read about how Al Qaeda operated, they would write shit down. They had secret codes. You know, if you interviewed Al Qaeda, they blindfolded you, took you to 3 different hotels, had 3 different cars pick you up. Like that. That is how you do clandestine shit. Showing up and like getting yourself on ring cam, leaving blood and leaving a glove at the scene. These are not the hallmarks of people who know how to do clandestine shit. So I absolutely believe that that yes, they are going to. Something stupid will be what unravels that thread. I totally agree with that. Thank you, Kaz. I appreciate you not shaming me for my 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 habit. I take I don't actually I think I take in probably about I'm under 10 puffs a day. I don't like the if there was a reliable like lozenge or something like that, I would vastly prefer it. But I get the 100% THC oil from the dispensary. So anyway, um, yes, I was just about to wrap, but yes, today, well, it actually it does have a very big Saving Silverman vibe to it. Tremendous movie. R. Lee Ermey, Jason Biggs. Anyway, gonna wrap things up. It is dinner time. I got a couple of Pat LaFrida burgers left over from Super Bowl Sunday, so I'm gonna go have a nice midweek cheat meal. Anyway, Twitter at Mike Montone, Instagram at Gary _ Moyler MOYLER, and YouTube Mike's Golden Streams. Appreciate you guys being here. I will catch y'all next week. Thank you, folks. Adios.